Tioga Pass is the highest mountain pass in California and is located in the Sierra Nevada mountains along Tioga Road in Yosemite National Park. The pass sits just under 10,000 feet above sea level and is located at the eastern gateway to Yosemite National Park along California State Route 120. Tioga Pass was the last of the Sierra Nevada mountain passes that I had yet to cross, and so in October of 2023, my grandpa and I drove Tioga Road through Yosemite National Park and crossed Tioga Pass, and here are some of the highlights from our journey along Tioga Road in Yosemite National Park. All right, everyone, me and Grandpa are on another road trip. Where are we right now?
Well, we just left a Taco Bell in Oakdale, California.
And where are we going?
Well, we're heading over to the Eastern Sierra to go chase fall colors. We're going to be going into Yosemite and going over Tioga Pass.
Yep, so me personally, I've never been over Tioga Pass. How about you?
I don't believe so. I've been in Yosemite Valley, but I don't think I've ever been over Tioga Pass that I can remember.
Yep, I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a very fun day as we pass through the high country of Yosemite National Park.
Yeah, it should be. They had a little snow up there, so we'll see when we get there.
Yep. All right, we will see you down the road. Our first stop on our journey on Highway 120 was to stop at the Lake Don Pedro Scenic Overlook along Highway 120 and Highway 49. All right, before we start heading up the mountain into Yosemite, I thought we'd stop here at the Scenic Overlook overlooking Lake Don Pedro. The lake looks pretty good here in early October ahead of the upcoming winter.
Yeah, it looks really good. Everybody knows we had a big wet winter in California this year, and this lake was, I think it was full.
Yeah, it actually filled up this year.
Yeah, and so it's still got a lot of water in it, so, which is good.
Yep. All right, are you ready to head up the mountain and head to Yosemite?
Yeah, well, let's just get on our way.
Yep. Feels nice to be back up in the mountains again, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's been, well, it hasn't been that long since we were up here, but it is nice. It's nice coming back up in the mountains again.
And what's nice too is up here in the mountains, they actually have seasons, unlike where we live. Where we live down in the Central Valley, we really don't get that much of a fall season, that is.
No, we don't. It's very typical. Years ago when I was growing up, we did, but the climate has changed over the years. And if we do have a fall, it comes really fast, and then then we're in winter. But a lot of times they say we go from summer to winter. There is no fall.
Yep. Only in California.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, we will see you guys up the road. We're going to stop at another scenic overlook before we head into Yosemite. Our next stop on our journey on Highway 120 brought us to the Rim of the World Scenic Overlook right here, which is one of the last places that you want to stop before you enter Yosemite National Park. The views here, looking out towards the mountains, are absolutely breathtaking. And it's also a sad reminder of the Rim fire that started near the Scenic Overlook roughly 10 years ago. At the time, it was the second largest wildfire in California history, but now in 2023, it is the 11th largest fire in California history. When you drive from here all the way up to the entrance to Yosemite National Park along Highway 120, you pass by many burnt trees which were left behind after the Rim fire burned through here over a decade ago. Pretty awesome views here of the Rim of the World Vista Point off Highway 120, huh?
Yeah, there is. It's pretty here. It's a nice area to look at the mountains here. Not many trees though.
Yep, this is where the Rim fire started about a decade ago. This Vista Point right here is where it got its name from.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We spent about 10 minutes here just soaking in the views before we continued our journey on Highway 120 up towards Yosemite National Park.
Welcome to Yosemite National Park along Tioga Road.
All right, so we are going to be continuing on Highway 120 toward Highway 395, which will take us over Tioga Pass. One thing I find interesting is that you really don't see U.S. routes signed in this style here in California, so this is a very interesting sign in my opinion. Typically the shield is cut out on U.S. routes here in California. After reaching the junction with Big Oak Flat Road and Tioga Road, we continued left on Highway 120 through the park, which is unsigned inside the boundaries of Yosemite National Park, because Caltrans does not have any jurisdiction over the roads and the maintenance of them inside national parks. Most maps will show this as California State Route 120, but it is technically not a assigned state highway in Yosemite National Park. The first 30 minutes of Tioga Road, once you get past the junction with Big Oak Flat Road, are pretty uneventful, as you're just mainly gaining elevation and passing through most of the tree cover in the lower elevations here of Yosemite National Park. Alright, what do you think of Tioga Road so far as we're driving up here in elevation towards the high country?
Yeah, it's a pretty drive. There's a lot of dead trees here. I'm not sure if there was a fire here in this area, but it's there is a lot of burnt trees or dead trees. I'm not sure.
I couldn't gather very reliable information on what fire burned through this section of Yosemite National Park. It very well could be the rim fire, but I'm not 100% sure. If you know what fire burned through this area of Yosemite National Park right here, feel free to let me know in the comments. My grandpa and I didn't stop for anything between the junction of Big Oak Flat Road, which takes you down into the Yosemite Valley, and Olmsted Point. It was at Olmsted Point where the views really started opening up, and then we just got some awesome views as we continued our journey up Tioga Road. Olmsted Point is named after famed landscape architect Frederick Law Olmsted and his son Frederick Jr. Olmsted Point offers great views back towards the northern end of the Yosemite Valley, where Clouds Rest is clearly visible on the top left right there, and then out towards the right you can see the backside of Half Dome. It's really cool to get this perspective of the backside of Half Dome here at Olmsted Point. Typically when you see pictures of Half Dome, they're almost always taken from the Yosemite Valley. One thing that's noticeable here on Half Dome is you can even see the cables and a few people climbing up them as well, which people use to climb to the summit of Half Dome, which is really cool in my opinion. Alright, what do you think of this view here at Olmsted Point looking back towards Half Dome?
Yeah, it's really a beautiful area here. I've never seen Half Dome from the backside. This is the first time I've ever seen it, so it's a really, really pretty sight to see.
Yep. Of course, most pictures that you see from Half Dome are from the Yosemite Valley looking at it from the front, but you don't get too many views here of the backside of it, but this is a great point right here along Tioga Road.
Yeah, there is a mountainous road that goes up to Glacier Point that you can see Half Dome, but you're looking down at it.
Yep. The views looking out to the east from Olmsted Point of Teneya Canyon and Teneya Lake are really awesome as well. You can even see a dusting of snow out there on the high peaks of the high country in Yosemite National Park. A storm actually passed through a few days prior to our visit, so it was the first snowfall of the year in Yosemite National Park. Alright, what do you think of this view here looking east along Tioga Road out towards Teneya Lake?
Yeah, it's another really pretty view also with the lake down there. And then you got snow up there on the high peak way up there.
Yep.
And
it did snow a couple days ago, the first snow of the season, although it's just mostly a dusting of snow.
Yeah, but it's a harbinger of things to come, I think.
Yep. Tioga Road is not even open during the wintertime. It is mostly open between June and November.
Right. And there's another storm coming in maybe this weekend, so they say.
Yep. After spending a good 20 minutes just taking in all the views there at Olmsted Point, we made our way up Tioga Road and we passed by Teneya Lake, and we just had to stop here because the views of the lake here and everything like that and the mountains surrounding it were just absolutely breathtaking. Teneya Lake is named after Chief Teneya, who was the chief of the native people who lived in the Yosemite Valley before being driven out by white settlers in the 1800s. Teneya Lake was created by the Teneya Glacier, which flowed from the Tuolumne ice sheet out towards the Yosemite Valley. Teneya Lake sits 8,150 feet above sea level and is frozen over most of the year. It was a perfect fall day when my grandpa and I visited Teneya Lake here in October of 2023. The weather was pleasantly cool and had a slight breeze to it. It was absolutely perfect. Well, what do you think of the views here at Teneya Lake in Yosemite National Park?
Yeah, there's really nice views here. It's a nice mountain lake, nice and clear. You can actually see the different levels of color in it. So it's nice and clear, nice and clean.
Yep. Teneya Lake is one of the most popular stops along Tioga Road in the high country of Yosemite. The views of the surrounding mountains are just absolutely breathtaking and really just take your breath away as you're driving along this stretch of Tioga Road. It is truly an awesome sight to see in person. Cameras could not do it justice. We sure picked a good day to come up here, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a gorgeous day. It's nice, nice and clear. There's a few little clouds in the sky, and it's probably about 50 degrees up here.
And somehow you're wearing shorts.
Yeah, and I don't have my sandals on either.
Yep. Yeah, perfect autumn day up here in the mountains, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's really nice right now.
All right, are you ready to continue up Tioga Pass?
Yeah, let's go.
After passing Teneya Lake, the next point of interest along Tioga Road is Pyewiak Dome, which is a 600-foot granite dome and is one of many domes in this area of Yosemite National Park. It is very popular for rock climbing, and the views from the summit are breathtaking from what I can see from pictures on the internet. After continuing our journey up Tioga Road, we eventually pass through Tuolumne Meadows as we approach the summit of Tioga Pass. It's at this point you are just under 10,000 feet above sea level, and if you're not used to the elevation, you will definitely be feeling it if you step out of the car, so just keep that in mind when driving along this road. It's at this point that you are in the alpine zone of the Sierra Nevada mountains. All right, Grandpa, where are we right now?
Right now we're at Tioga Pass at 9,945 feet. This is the highest pass in the Sierra Nevada mountains that is paved.
Yep. And it's beautiful up here, isn't it?
It's gorgeous, man. There's snow up there on the high mountains still. We had a storm up here, so we got more snow. And that's Mount Dana.
Yep. Right there.
That is a 13er.
The northernmost 13er in California, actually.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yep. It's the second highest point in the park.
Yeah, it's gorgeous up here. Got this little lake here. I don't know what it is, what its name is, but just another one of the small little mountain lakes up here.
Yep. And we're also on the Great Basin Divide, so all water flowing west will flow into the Pacific Ocean, and all water flowing east will flow into Mono Lake, which is a closed basin and has no outlet.
Yep.
You remember your experience at Mono Lake with the tufas?
Tufas, yeah, sorry.
There's a lot of great information plaques that talk about the transportation history in this area of Yosemite National Park. The modern Tioga Road that we are driving on today didn't even fully open until 1961, which is just really amazing to learn about, honestly. Just awesome views back there in the high country of Yosemite from Tioga Pass. Yosemite National Park is one of the most popular and most visited national parks in the United States, and if you want a great visit to Yosemite without the crowds, I highly recommend driving along Tioga Road. Even during the busy summer season, this road gets far less visitors than the world-famous Yosemite Valley, and the views up here along Tioga Road in the Yosemite High Country are a sight to behold. And right here you just get really awesome views of Mount Dana looking out to the east from Tioga Pass. Once you cross Tioga Pass, you are officially crossing the highest highway pass in California at just under 10,000 feet above sea level. And you're also leaving the boundaries of Yosemite National Park as well and entering the Inyo National Forest. It's also at this point where you'll begin losing elevation, although the elevation change is really gradual at first, as you begin your descent down into the Mono Lake Basin as you enter the Great Basin, which is an enclosed area where no water can escape to the ocean. Our first stop along our eastern descent on Tioga Pass was at the appropriately named Tioga Lake, which lies just east of the summit of Tioga Pass. Well, we've officially crossed Tioga Pass, which means I have now crossed every major crossing of the Sierra Nevada mountain range as of today.
That's a pretty cool accomplishment, I guess.
Yep. And right behind my grandpa there is Tioga Lake, which is just past the east side of Tioga Pass.
Yeah, it's another mountain lake, a little larger one.
Yep. Beautiful views still up here.
Yeah.
Even though we're technically not in Yosemite anymore.
When you watch this video later on, you're going to notice now that the mountains are changing. It's from the granite.
Yep.
The granite type to more of the, I don't know what you call it, but more of the rockier style with little boulders and things.
Probably something like sedimentary or igneous rock.
Yeah, probably something like that, because
that's not my field of study, so feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong.
It's not, you're okay. It's just that the Desolation Wilderness in Tahoe also has the granite rocks in this would be the east side of the lake.
Mm-hmm. Having a good time up here?
Yeah, I am. It's been nice.
Yep. I may sound like a broken record when I say this, but the views here at Tioga Lake are just an awesome sight to see, as with any other stop along Tioga Road. It's definitely worth stopping here and taking in the views of these high-altitude lakes because what lies ahead is one of the steepest highway grades in California and is also one of the most notorious. So it's definitely worth stepping outside and taking in the fresh mountain air before you start your long descent down Lee Vining Canyon. After spending a good 10 minutes here at Tioga Lake, we continued down the road and eventually reached our last lake up here in the high country of the Sierra Nevada mountains as we passed by Ellery Lake, which just offers amazing views before you start your descent down Lee Vining Canyon. Because both Tioga and Ellery Lakes are above 9,000 feet above sea level, most of the time they are frozen throughout most of the year. Ellery Lake is definitely worth a stop, especially if you come here when there's a whole bunch of snow on the surrounding mountains because it just creates such an awesome view here as you make your way up towards Lee Vining Canyon. The dusting of snow on the nearby mountains just made for an awesome visual here as we made our way down Tioga Pass. Just look at this visual of my grandpa with the snow-capped mountains in the background there with the dusting of snow on them. What an awesome sight, huh?
Yeah, it really is. That's really a craggy, pretty craggy mountain here, but it's really pretty.
Yep. All right, you ready to start the descent down Tioga Pass?
Yeah, let's go.
Don't lose your brakes.
No, I won't.
After leaving Ellery Lake, you start your long descent down Lee Vining Canyon. It is over a 6% grade for about 10 miles and you will lose over 3,000 feet in elevation as you make your way down towards Mono Lake and Highway 395. My grandpa and I didn't make any more stops between Ellery Lake and Highway 395 as we made our descent down Lee Vining Canyon. The views here are a sight to behold in person and no camera can do it justice. Enjoy the series of clips I recorded as we made our way down Lee Vining Canyon towards Lee Vining and Highway 395. Well folks, that's going to do it for me and my grandpa's time here along Tioga Road in Yosemite National Park. This is easily, hands down, one of the most scenic drives you can take here in California, and it's also one of the least traveled too, so if you really like road trips where you're not around a lot of people, this is one of the best you can take in the state in my personal opinion. There is a lot to see along this road, and the views are just absolutely incredible. We certainly had a great time driving this road, and we created lots of memories that we will never forget. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have an amazing day. Stay tuned to the next adventure. We will see you soon. Thank you for watching.